The strange and paranormal is just around every corner if you go looking. There are so many creatures that don't get any credit or any recognition, and I want to bring some of them to light. Yo guys, I'm the Rat Man, and today we're going to be covering 6 cryptids that you've never heard of, spanning from a man made of vegetables all the way to a weird Dutch werewolf that is mortal enemies with the racist dragon of Appalachia. First up on our list comes straight from Chilean folklore. We've got the Uncao. I think it's pronounced Uncao. It could also be Uncao. El Uncao is an invisible bird that lives within the dense, temperate rainforests. It's often mistaken for the Chucao, which is a real bird native to Chile. Now, Uncao is 100% solid, tangible, real. You can hear it, you can feel it, you can kill it, but you cannot see it. Unless it's during the rain. When the raindrops bounce off of its body, they create this shimmering, beautiful, glistening silhouette of falling water around where it should be. Now, mirrors can also reflect the Uncao, but it's not recommended to do this because if you do, you could get a curse. You could get possessed, you could become ill, or you could start having hallucinations. Now, you can also see the corpse of the bird when it dies. Its corpse resembles a gnarled up bird with black, glossy bones and bright red sinew. If it's left alone, it emits a faint humming sound, but if you pick it up and try to take it anywhere, the humming will go away. Now, these dead birds are retrieved by folk sorcerers and Mapuche shamans. I don't know if I'm saying that word right either, but we're going with it. These people turn them into charms of good luck and protection, usually by putting them on a necklace. Or sometimes they can be used as an ingredient in curses and bewitching spells, and they're especially powerful when mixed with the soil from a graveyard or blood. Now, even though it's invisible, this doesn't mean that you can't at all sense it. In fact, dogs, cows, and horses are usually terrified of it. Or sometimes they just get annoyed at it, but usually terrified. Locals say that its cry causes stampedes, and they cause dogs to just go into wild frenzies. Now, the really cool part about this cryptid, and why I actually put it on this list, it has oracle prophetic abilities. Now, by screaming its little tiny bird scream, it can tell you whether good or bad is about to happen and how good or bad it's going to be. Now, the way you interpret what this prophecy means is by what direction the sound is coming from and how loud it is. If you hear the sound on your left, good luck and blessings are going to befall you. If you hear it on your right, death, illness, and misfortune is nearby. And however close the sound is the less effective this prophecy is going to be. So if you hear it right up to your left, like immediately on this tree branch right above your head, you're gonna get some blessings, but it's not gonna be a lot. Whereas if you hear it from the right side, but it sounds like it's super far off in the distance, you have to strain to hear it, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. Local travelers often stop while they're on their travels if they can hear it anywhere, and they listen for it to discern whether or not their travel is going to go well. This thing is so cool. I love just little folkloric things like this. A lot of people who are into cryptids just like the big hitters, right? But the thing I think is so cool about cryptids is you can get these little ones like this, and there's so many of them, and they just collect into a database, and it gives you an entire new world to build with all these tiny little details. I like world building for D&D and stuff, and that's really what's important when it comes to world building, is just all these tiny little details fit together, and just a fancy special little cryptid like this that you don't hear a lot of similar things to it is just so cool to add to that database. Alright, next up we've got the Vegieman from West Virginia. A lot of cryptids coming out of West Virginia. It is so full of mysterious events. This one is just as strange as the rest. Now, the Vegetable Man, or Vegieman, was first seen in 1968 around Fairmont, West Virginia. Jennings Frederick was hunting when he heard a strange sound. It sounded like a record player turned up to a really high speed, but it was mixed with choppy sounds like that. Now, he was tracing this sound because what the frick is that? And he turned a tree corner and looked up. And right there in front of him was a 7-foot tall, thin, semi-human shaped man that appeared to be made of plants. It had very large ears and striking, angry set looking eyes that constantly oscillated between yellow and red, just flipping between them like whoosh. It was like crazy. Its arms were incredibly thin and they seemed almost more like reeds from right off the edge of a riverbank than actual arms. On the ends of its long fingers there were these suction cups, and inside of the suction cup a small thorn. Jennings said that the creature seemed like it was maybe sick or very badly hurt. As soon as it came into view, the jabbering sounds got more intense from it. Then all of a sudden, Jennings started getting a telepathic communication from the creature. It said, "You need not fear me. I wish to communicate. I come as a friend. We know of you all. I come in peace. I wish for medical assistance. I need your help." Then immediately after this, and saying "I come in peace" and all that jazz, it lunged at Jennings. It wrapped Jennings up in its manly arms that may have been extremely thin but were unreasonably strong. Now, Jennings tried repeatedly to escape, but he continuously failed. He noticed that it was actually piercing him with the suction cup thorn thingies and sucking out his blood. As he tried to escape, he also became hypnotized by the thing's oscillating eyes, so it was just dead sprinting through the woods staring at him, and it hypnotized him. Now, the next thing Jennings knew, he came to on the ground and turned to see the creature jolting up and over a hill. He continued to stare at the hill, wondering if the creature would come back to finish him off or something, and he heard a very deep humming sound. He assumes that the creature took off in its craft because he believes that it was an alien. To date, this is the only sighting of the Vegetable Man. I really like this one. The Vegieman is just such an interesting story. I guess he named it the Vegieman because it's snappy, but he's more like made of a tree or something. But how terrifying would that be to just be hunting and then you hear broken record sounds and you turn and there's just this tree guy and he starts stealing your blood and sprinting with you through the woods? That would be insanely horrific, bro. But this is such a cool dude. I really like plant-based creatures, and there's barely any of them anywhere at all. Like even in fictional stuff, like cryptids, first off, not very many of them. But even in fictional stuff like games and such, there's like never plant creatures. I love plant-based creatures, they're so cool. Next up, we've got the black demon shark. This one's nothing really fancy, but I did think it was really cool and interesting and worth a mention. It's generally seen off the coast of Baja California, and or in the Gulf of California. It is described as being absolutely gigantic, up to like 60 feet, or sometimes even bigger. They estimate it weighs between 50 and 100,000 pounds. It's jet black like a shadow, and resembles a great white shark, but obviously way more enormous. Eyewitness accounts of boaters and fishermen say that it's very aggressive and unpredictable. It'll appear suddenly, shake boats, and then vanish just as quickly as it appeared. Some people have actively seen it kill whales and sea lions. The stories of the black demon shark have been passed down through Mexican fishermen through generations. Oftentimes, though, sightings involve oil rigs. Could this thing possibly be like a hypermelanistic megalodon or something? It's a massive shark that's jet black, which is just so much aura, dude. That is so cool. Like, I love that. I haven't heard anything like that. And they call it the Black Demon. That's just so cool, man. And this thing, like maybe possibly could exist. It would be some sort of genetic thing going on, but it's been passed down through generations. Like, it's such a cool story. I just love it. Next up, we've got the Dewayo. This creature will be very familiar to us because of its similarities to werewolves. It has the features of a wolf, but it's bipedal. Its hind legs are more like that of a man than a wolf's, and its front legs, hands, can be used as hands. It's got dark gray, almost black fur, and a very, very bushy tail. Now this thing is mortal enemies with the Snallygaster, the racist dragon of Appalachia. And the reason I say that isn't because it's like, oh, it's racist because it's like appropriation or something lame like that. No, just because this thing only eats black people. It will not eat white people. And so, you know, it's like, it's racist, obviously. I mean, come on. White people taste good. You can't eat a little bit of us? Bruh. I actually made a full-length video on the Snallygaster. If you're interested in watching, I'll tag it up here. That thing can almost break Mach 5, like the sound barrier 5 times over. It's hilarious. And yet it has trouble fighting off this creature, the Dewayo. Now the Dewayo stands 6 feet tall and is incredibly strong, but as far as I know, it doesn't have any type of supernatural abilities. There have been encounters of this thing fighting with the Snallygaster since the 1780s, when Maryland was being settled by Germans. This cryptid could have come from some Dutch stories that were very similar and told of another wolf-like creature, known as the Hexen wolf. Now the first actually documented sighting took place in 1944, when a witness heard it make a frightful scream, and it left behind some footprints. It was then seen by John Becker in 1965, when it attacked him on his own property. But after being fought off by this beast of a man, it sprinted back into the woods. It was subsequently seen in 1966 while a man was on a hike, in 76 by 2 men who were driving Route 77, and it was seen in 1978 by 2 park rangers of all people. This creature is interesting. There have been a lot of sightings of it, and it's said to fight the Snallygaster, which is one of the most popularized cryptids at the time. Like, President Roosevelt was gonna go hunt it down, apparently. So, you know, it's crazy. Next up is the Jangsan Beom. It hails from South Korea and is considered an urban legend or a creature of folklore. However, there are a few documented sightings. Now, the Jangsan Beom is a quadruped, slightly larger than the average man, and adorned in white, very long, fluffy fur. Its forelimbs are much longer than its hind limbs, which makes it shockingly agile at moving through different types of terrain. Its roar can sound like a few different things, starting with nails on a chalkboard. It can also sound like human screams, a frickin' train, and scrapping metal. It can also mimic the voice of humans and bait people to come to it, which it then eats them. It eats people. Apparently it eats like anybody who sees this thing. So if you see it, be very careful and don't let it know you're there, because it is faster than you. The Jangsan Beom was first reported in September of 2010, and it was seen several times after that between 2010 and 2012. Last up on our list, we've got La Bola Negra, or also known as the Palaquiori. It's a mysterious force that once again comes from Chilean folklore, which I'm finding out I have been sleeping on. I didn't know how cool Chilean folklore was until recently. It's often seen by rural farmers. It appears without warning, often during sunsets or right before nighttime, and it hovers in the air, manifesting into a black, floating sphere that creates a suffocatingly dense fog, and I mean literally suffocatingly dense. The fog can and will cause panic in creatures and suffocate them, and it will also cause very bad disorientation. It often clings to the ground, becoming the world's worst tripping hazard, and it can even cause you to get lost in it because of a mix of the disorientation and the smog covering the ground. You can just lose your way and wander into it deeper. Farmers are known to just straight up abandon their farms until this stuff goes away sometimes. Like, it gets so bad and it's a sign of bad luck, and you can't really do anything while it's there, so they just leave their homes. At some point, it will disappear just as quickly as it came. Some people theorize that it's a strange natural phenomenon caused by odd atmospheric conditions. Others think it's a malevolent spirit. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for this video. What did you think of those cryptids? Have you ever heard of any of them before? I hadn't. They seemed very obscure when I was looking into them, and there's so many obscure cryptids that are not covered by anyone because they're like not worth a big video of their own or something. So I feel like this is a good way to get some new cryptids onto the field that nobody knows about. Who knows, maybe you'll find your favorite one in one of these videos. Let me know if you like content like this, or if I should do some other type of content. I'm trying to test around to see what people really like. Hey, if you wouldn't mind hitting subscribe, we're trying to hit 500 by the end of the year 2025. If we do, I will go on a cryptid hunt. Also, leave a comment down below on what type of content you'd like to see, and like the video if you enjoyed it. That helps a lot. It pushes me out in the algorithm. I've got a Discord, link in description. I would love to see you there. Currently, as of recording this video, no one has joined. You could be the first, bro. Hope to see you there. Hope to see you in more videos. Thank you for watching. I think that's everything, so I'm just gonna say, Ratman out.